The clarinet is a member of the woodwind family. It is made of wood called grenadilla, and it comes all the way from Africa. There are silver keys on it, and we produce a sound by blowing into the mouthpiece. But first, we need a reed, which is a piece of cane, and it is held onto the mouthpiece by a piece of metal called a ligature. And when you get it in the sweet spot and blow air into it, it produces a sound. Like that. Today, we're going to play a movement from a piece by Michael Kibbe, and it's called March. So, obviously, it's a piece that you could march to, and there are two main sections. The first is a really fast, lighthearted, kind of spinning around section with a melody. Listen for this. And then the middle section is a little slower and a little sneakier. So listen to this section when we get to it. And then finally, that main melody that I played for you first comes back at the very end. So please enjoy The March by Michael Kibbe.
I'd like to show you a little bit about the flute and the piccolo. Just like the clarinet, the flute and piccolo are members of the woodwind family. Now one big difference is that the flute and piccolo do not have a reed. The sound is produced by blowing over this tone hole, and it makes kind of a whistle sound. The notes, just like on the clarinet, are changed from high to low depending on which of these keys you push. You're making the flute longer and you're making it shorter. And the flute is known for playing fast flourishes and high notes. Like that. Now the piccolo is almost identical to the flute, but as you can see, it's much smaller. So this instrument is going to play higher or lower, do you think? It's going to play much higher because of how small it is. And now I'd like to show you a saxophone. This is an alto saxophone. Like the clarinet and the flute, there are smaller versions and larger versions of it. This is an alto saxophone, and it also comes in soprano, tenor, baritone, bass. The saxophone, much like the clarinet, has a mouthpiece in different parts. This is the body of the horn. This is the neck of the horn. This is the mouthpiece with the same kind of reed that a clarinet has, but it's a little bit larger because the mouthpiece is a little larger. The saxophone was invented about 160 years ago by a man named Adolph Sax, S-A-X, and that's why it's called a saxophone. And just like the clarinet and the flute, it belongs to the woodwind family. It uses a reed. You blow into a mouthpiece, the air goes through here, and you change notes by pressing these keys. In essence, you're making the horn longer by putting down keys or shorter by raising keys.